Welcome to the Esthetician Coach podcast, where passion meets strategy. I'm your host and esthetician coach, Amber Boone, and each week we're talking strategies, solutions, and mindset to build and attract your best life and career yet. I have a very special guest, Abbey Hudson, joining me today. She is a licensed esthetician and owner of Luxe Haus here in Knoxville, Tennessee. She is a lash artist and educator and a waxing specialist. Abbey, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. I'm so excited to be on here.
So let's dive in. What inspired you to become an esthetician?
Yes. So I would say just my love for makeup. Makeup was kind of what I was known for back in high school and at the start of my career and journey in school. So I was actually going to go to college. I was going to go to UT Knoxville, and I was going to go for business and marketing. I was planning on getting my MBA. And 2 weeks before signing up, I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather go to beauty school. I love makeup. And my parents were like, what do you mean you want to go to beauty school? And so we were doing some research at all the different schools, and we kind of landed on Tennessee School of Beauty with the aesthetics program. And honestly, I didn't know anything about aesthetics. I'm like, oh, I don't know what this is, but cool. So I ended up picking that program because it was a shorter program. It didn't cost as much. And I was just like, sure, let's try this out.
So you were primarily going back to get to become a makeup artist so that you could, are you still doing that right now? Are you still doing makeup?
I currently am not. I've kind of retired from doing clients. Every once in a while, if I get a special request from a very special client or family or close friend, I will do it. I have lots of people asking me to do it, and I don't know. I may open it back up in the future.
Okay. So what did you think when you started aesthetics school and you were, like you said, you didn't really know anything about aesthetics? So what was your first impressions of aesthetics?
Yes. So I was just excited to get started. Again, I knew a lot about makeup already. We come from the 2016 era. I started beauty school. Actually, it was a little bit before that. I went in September of 2015 is when I started at Tennessee School of Beauty. And I was excited to be there. It was definitely a different experience for me. I was homeschooled. I grew up homeschooled my whole life. So to go from being homeschooled to beauty school was a big culture shock in some ways. But as far as aesthetics go, I was excited. I kind of fell in love with it more as I went with it. And I enjoyed it a lot.
So, and you have your own business now. What made you decide to start your own business in this process?
Yes. So my first job right outside of school was it was a wax specialist at a popular wax franchise. We'll just say that. And I, in a lot of ways, had a good experience, but there were some negative aspects to it, particularly with like management. I have zero problem working hard. I have zero problem being a good employee, but I want to put that energy towards something that's my own and get the most out of, all the time and energy I'm putting in. I could make more doing my own thing than working for somebody else.
Yeah. And so how long have you had your own business now?
I have been in business for over 8 years, which I can't believe.
Yes. And I have been a client of yours in the past. You are an amazing waxer.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I wanted to throw in one fun fact too. I don't know if you remember, but I was in the day aesthetics class and you were in the night aesthetics class, right? That started right after me.
Yes, we were right there together.
Yes, we go way back.
We do. And I've just admired you, watching you grow and have your own business and do all the things. And honestly, I don't think there's anything that you couldn't do. You're really good at lashes. You're really good at waxing. So whatever you seem to put your mind to, you're really great at it.
Thank you. That means a lot. It really does.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you first started your business and even now that you might be facing?
Yes. So, just, clientele's always one of those things that I don't know, it comes and goes in waves. So, I have fortunately been blessed over my 8 years to stay pretty busy. I know COVID was really, really hard. It, our businesses had got shut down and everybody, was nervous to come out and get all this stuff done. But the first week back after COVID, that week alone, I made over $6,000. And it had been going pretty steady since then. And then probably about a year and a half ago, there was a lot going on in my personal life and business had, kind of slowed down. The economy started getting bad and people kind of pulled back. And I feel like I raised my prices at probably the wrong time. That's always a stressful thing, too, trying to figure out your pricing. And I just, things, it was the worst time in my business that I've had, like, period, since COVID. So I had to kind of like reshift like my thoughts and reshift how I, marketed myself and my services. And that, I mean, it is since doing that, my business has boomed unlike ever before. Like it's done well. So probably the biggest thing is just, trying to stay relevant with clients, trying to keep up with the trends because trends change. New services kind of come and go. A lot of people have said things like it's a dying industry, which I disagree with. It's just changed so much and there's different trends going on with it. We've kind of steered away from like the mega volume as much as I love mega volume. And we've gone more towards, natural lashes. So like angel lashes and lash lift and tints. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, yes, that makes sense. And so when you pivoted, what helps you get the best results when you're marketing and trying to get new clients in the door? Do you believe it's social media or is there other things that you've tried in your business that have worked and been successful for you?
So the biggest success that I have found that has gotten me the most clients has been social media and then word of mouth. So like you want to start with social media, book, get a few models, do a few people for free, then charge a model price and just post like crazy on social media. And then from there on out, people are going to start to refer you. So social media is huge. Like if you're not on social media, I don't think you'll stay in business for very long. So social media is key. And then providing an excellent service, like go above and beyond, give so much more value to the initial price. And people are going to rave about you and you're going to get booked up very quickly.
Okay, that's good advice. And how many times do you post a day? How many have you found a sweet spot or do you find that it varies?
I try to post at least once a day, maybe like 2 to 3 stories a day, on my Instagram and my Facebook. But I try to post probably at least twice a day, at least on my Facebook.
Okay, and so how did you decide what your specialty was gonna be when you opened your business? Did you try to do everything at once when you first started, or did you specialize in certain things?
A little bit of everything. Had about 3 years of experience with waxing at the first place I was. And then I left and went on, and I knew I wanted to do makeup and I wanted to try and do facials. And then I definitely knew I wanted to do lash extensions. So I kind of got more into the lash extensions. I was mostly self taught for a while and I still did plenty of waxing. And then where I was, they also did like on site wedding hair and makeup. So I was getting a lot of makeup gigs doing that. I tried doing facials for a little bit. Lashes just took off for me. It got really, really big. I think I can easily say that I'm the first person in Knoxville that did the mega volume lashes or at least one of the first. And that was just like completely new to this area and it just took off. So really, it was lashes.
Okay. And so, in your opinion, what sets, and I think you already talked about this a little bit, but what sets you and your business apart from others in the industry?
Yes. So my number one thing is excellent customer service. So my very first job I had in high school was Chick-fil-A, and I feel like that really provided a good foundation to my views on how a business should be run, business marketing, dealing with clients, customers and whatnot. So that is my number one key is I go above and beyond for my clients. This is what I tell myself when I do things. I try to provide the service that I want. So it has to be up to my standard. And I provide the service, like not just like the service like the lashes or the waxing, but the customer service that I would be satisfied with. So, not saying other people don't do a good job, but I know that is number one is providing that because there'll be other lash artists that are, as good as me or provide a great service. But if their customer service is not there, they're not going to stay in business too long.
I completely agree. I think customer service, like you said, and the experience just going above and beyond, that is how you will keep clients coming back to you.
Yes, and consistency. Consistency is the name of the game in the beauty industry.
Yes. Now, do you have employees that work for you or with you?
So not really currently. I do have my girl Megan. She does my social media. So uh she's a good friend of mine and I guess you would consider her an employee. She's kind of like an in between of an employee, probably like a freelancer.
Okay, so now how long have you had somebody doing your social media?
Yes, I've had her for probably since April of last year, so over a year now.
So do you recommend do you recommend that other estheticians, if they can, hire that social media part out if they don't have time to spend on it themselves?
Yes, definitely. I feel like when you get to a point where you're trying to grow and scale, that's a great time when to hire somebody. I know in the beginning it's hard. Well, it's hard to pay somebody because you are new and you don't have a whole bunch of extra income and I feel like you typically have more time in the beginning, so you have the time to invest in making your own content. So I think that you should be taking models and you should be getting content and posting yourself until you get to the point where you're like, I really don't have enough time for this and it just makes more sense to, have somebody else do it so I can take services.
So you're buying back your time essentially.
Yes, because you still gotta post on social media, like, you can't stop doing that, but, if you can delegate it out to somebody else while you take paying clients, then you're gonna be making more money, and then more money is gonna be coming in because, clients will see the social media posting, they'll book.
So, what's the most challenging aspects? Because you've been running your business a while now. What's the most challenging aspects of running an aesthetics business?
Yes.
And how do you manage that day to day?
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's just, again, keeping up with the trends and trying to stay relevant and trying to be at the top of your game. Like, I'm big on I compete with myself. I don't look at others and think, well, I want to be, better than them or whatnot. You kind of have to figure out how to reinvent yourself constantly because people are going to rise up and people are going to do better. And that's not a bad thing. It helps push you to be a better version. So I would encourage people to not view your quote unquote competition as a bad thing, but push you to be the best you can be because there's only one you and there's only, one them or one whoever. And really, you're just, again, like I said, you're competing with yourself. So just trying to be the best that I can be and be on top of my game is always a challenge, but I like a challenge.
I love that. And I love that yeah, sometimes we just have to put our blinders on and focus on us and focus on where we want to go and what we're doing.
Yes.
So, are there any mistakes that you've made along the way, and how did they shape your approach to your business now? Is there anything that stands out to you?
Yes. So some of the biggest obstacles, and this may be a little more on the negative side, is the negative people in the industry. So dealing with negative people, bosses, landlords, friends, quote unquote, that want to go into business with you, like ladies and gentlemen that are starting in this industry, I highly encourage you, if you can, do it by yourself, at least for a bit. I see so many ladies or again guys, like friends, go in on something and they're brand new or if they're even seasoned and it does not end well. It's really hard to make going into business with friends and family a safe environment and not end up being toxic. So that had happened to me a couple of times. I know one landlord in particular, I'll say this. So with her, and when dealing with a landlord, you need to read everything. You need to read everything. You need to take it, like if you're, 18, 19 years old, you need to take it to your parents, maybe talk to a lawyer, have them look over and read everything and have a copy because there are some really good landlords, like where I'm at right now, best landlord I've ever had. I love her to pieces. There's a reason why I came back here, but then there's some that are really shady or just not professional. And that's another thing about this industry is there's a lot of people that are not professional. You got to do your best to, again, stay in your lane and stay professional, and not let your feelings get in the way because that's really hard, especially since it is mostly women in this industry and we get in our feels and that can cause an issue. But bottom line, read all your contracts, have everything in writing, with your friend and clear lines and boundaries. I thrive off clear lines and boundaries. So moving forward, like with me, honestly, I have zero desire to really go into business with anybody else again. As far as sharing a space, but I try to keep an open mind in case something arises, but I'm going to be a lot more wise when approaching that situation.
Yeah, because of experiences you've had in the past, I think that's really smart to look over all the paperwork, let someone else look over the paperwork and make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. And then yeah, set those expectations, those boundaries like you were talking. So speaking of new estheticians, so what advice would you give to estheticians that are maybe just starting out or maybe they're finishing up school and they want to go out on their own? Would you recommend that they work somewhere first or, because you've kind of seen both sides of it. So what advice could you give to someone like that?
Yes. So I tell all my students or anybody I know, like in school, I would definitely work somewhere else first before going out on your own. Like, even if, your parents can pay for it or your husband, I still recommend working under somebody to get experience, to get your foot in the door because in this industry, as sad as it is, it's all about who you know, honestly. It really is. So what I tell students is if you can go apply and maybe work as a front desk at a spa or a salon, that gets your foot in the door. Clients are coming in, they're seeing your face, you're getting a feel for the place if you want to stay or not. And then I feel like you're way more likely to get a position at the spa or as a lash tech if you are already in there and they already know you and like you. So that would be my recommendation. And then if you do want to go out on your own, you need to make sure you need to run your numbers. You need to know how much you need to make. Think about what you want to make, but you really need to know how much you need to make. And then if you can, have at least like 3 to 6 months saved in case your business doesn't quite take off yet, or if it takes a while, have a safety cushion and have another job. Like, do not let this be your only job when you're first starting out. Like you're going to need another job until you can get this up and running and this can be your full-time job.
How long would you say it took you to build your clientele to where it could be the only thing that you were focusing on and doing?
Yes. So again, when I first started out, I worked at the waxing place, and I was there for about 3 years, and I had a pretty good clientele. And then when I went off to do lashes, I started August of 2017, and then I was able to fully leave my job by December of 2017. So what was that? August, September, October, November. So really 4 months because I started at the beginning of August and I left at the beginning of December.
Okay, but you did have that clientele built up from where you had worked somewhere else.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's
Exa-
probably helped carry you a little bit rather
yeah,
than just starting brand new.
exactly.
And so, also, I know you're a trainer. Are you offering trainings right now? What kind of training
Yeah,
are you doing?
I sure am. Well, I am always offering one-on-one lash trainings. So I offer mentoring at an hourly rate, and then I offer like the one-on-one 1 day trainings. And the cool thing about my trainings is that, if you get the 1 day one, I allow you to come back even after that and we can go over more. Like I do really good at making sure my students are taken care of. I call them like my little lash babies. So like you have complete ongoing, I can't talk. You have ongoing mentoring with me. Like you can text me whenever and I'll give you answers. Like there is no gatekeeping. I tell you everything. So I offer that. And now I'm trying to get more into wax training and I'm offering a Brazilian wax workshop.
Oh, fun. I love that. So, is that at a particular time? Are you doing those one-on-one, or is that
Those
coming up, or
Those are one-on-one, so, if somebody's interested, they'll message me and we'll come up with a day and time and we'll do it.
okay. And where can people find you online? I'll also link it below too. Where's the best place to reach out to you at?
Yes, my Instagram is a great place to reach out to me. I am Abbey Hudson _ Luxe Haus. And then find me on Facebook. My Facebook profile has taken off, which is awesome. I'll be, just look up Abby Hudson on Facebook. And then as far as like website goes, as of right now, I really just been using my Gloss Genius one. So social media is really the place to find me.
Okay, perfect. And I'll link those in the notes so that people can have quick access to you and reach out. And let's see, a few more questions here. How do you manage? Because I know you have kids too. So, how do you manage the balance between running a business and maintaining your personal life? Is there a routine or strategy that helps you stay grounded?
Oh boy, I'm not sure. I just kind of go with it. I'm like the hot mess express, but we make it work. I Now my kids are school age. They're both actually getting ready to go to school, which is a blessing. So I don't have to worry about childcare as much. Luckily, I have a pretty supportive family and they help me a lot with childcare. I have split custody of my kids. I'm divorced. And so part of the time they'll go and they'll be with their dad. So that helps me on days that I have to work as well. But I'm like, what personal life?
I
Just
get
kidding.
that. I get that.
I'm starting to have more of a life. I have my boyfriend, and we have been traveling a lot. And I'm like, wow, what's it like to be a normal person? Because I typically work like 50 plus hours a week in the salon, like in the studio, not to mention just all the craziness of running the social media and the online aspect.
Yeah, so about how much so if you're working 50 hours in the treatment room, how much are you spending on the admin and the business side of things in your business?
Oh man.
Would you say? Would you estimate?
Maybe at least 15 to 20 hours.
Okay, so you're working quite a bit every
Yes.
week. It's a
Yes.
hustle.
It is. And my suggestion to people, and I've been trying to cut back, and here's the other thing I want to tell people, and I need to really practice what I preach. Try and pace yourself. Your health and your mental health is more important than any, aspect of your business. So I have been running this way for 8+ years, and it has taken a toll on my body. So I've had to step back. Sometimes you need to step back, you need to adjust hours, add breaks, or raise your prices, which I know is scary, but you got to do what's best for you because I know, like, I had recently lost a lot of weight, which is great, but like back when I was a little bit heavier, I landed in the hospital a couple times after working 12 hours. So don't recommend doing that. Don't do what I do there, and just pace yourself and it'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree. We have to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, all the things, and we have to make time for those. And sometimes it's hard when you're trying to get your business going and off the ground. But, if you don't take care of you, then you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. So I,
Exactly.
I think that's a good point and an important one at that. So, what's next for your business? Do you have any exciting projects or growth plans in the works or in the future?
Yes. So I'm always about, growth and shifting and seeing what's best for me and the business and my clients. So right now I have shifted more towards waxing. Again, kind of going back to my health issues, like, I'll do anywhere from like 6 to 10 lash clients a day. And that was really hard on my back and neck. So I have shifted over to waxing and it's been great. And honestly, waxing is where it's at for me right now because A, like I said, it's easier on my body. B, it's quicker. And C, I actually make a lot more money waxing than I do lashes. So that I'm very excited about. That, and I want to do more to promote trainings. And then I want to start offering retail, start doing that. And then I am planning on getting my real estate license. So that is different from this industry, but hopefully, I'm excited about that as far as, my career goes.
Yeah, something different.
Yes,
You've always gotta be yeah. If you're like me, I'm always looking for, "Okay, now what can I do?" Let's do
yes.
something
I have
different.
to keep myself busy.
We'll get bored if we don't.
Yes.
So, what advice would you give to other estheticians who may be feeling stuck or overwhelmed in their business? Do you have any advice that you would give them? I feel like you've
Yeah.
already given some great advice, but
Oh, yeah. No, you're good. You're good. So I would just say take a step back, breathe, take a day or two off, decompress, just really. If you pray, pray, meditate, and just try to center yourself again and, just clear your mind and think, okay, what do I want with my life? Like what do I want? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my business to look like? And then just start, piecing things back together. I like going on Pinterest, like when I'm in a rut, I start pinning stuff that matches my aesthetic or like dreams or goals. Like I'm a handbag girly, so I like to pin my Birkins and my G Wagons. And I'm like, you know what? I'm working hard. The stuff will come. It's all good. So just kind of like going back and just thinking why you do what you do and then let that be your motivator. And then just, again, I know I've said this a lot, like shifting your thoughts. I always thought that was silly when people are like, oh, it's your mindset and stuff, but it really is true. It really is true. You have to shift your mindset and look at things at different angles and be like, oh, that makes sense. Why never I saw it this way? Like for me, I make a lot more doing Brazilian waxes. What I could make doing a full set, I can do with 4 Brazilian waxes. So when I shifted that way, I'm like, well, that's way easier. Why have I not been promoting that? So you're going to have some of those aha moments or some of those moments of clarity. So like I said, go on Pinterest. Just start pinning stuff.
I love that, and I love Pinterest too, and
Yeah.
mindset is so important. It's not the only piece, but it's a big part of the puzzle.
Yes, it is.
What is your favorite aesthetic service to receive?
To receive, ooh, I don't know. I honestly have started getting into more of going to the med spa. So I love all my Medi Spa treatments. I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm pushing 30. I have a little bit more money and kind of go spend time at the Medi Spa. I always love getting like a good, uh, maybe a Diamond Glow facial and a dermaplane. I've been getting into having my lashes lifted and tinted. Like I love having extensions, but I know that it takes a long time. And with my schedule, I'm like, I just need to be a lash lift and tint girly. But all the medical aesthetics is what I'm getting excited about, like laser on my face. I just got some new VO products.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite product that you're using right now?
Yes, well, I love the entire ZO line. I think my favorite product is the exfoliating cleanser, and then
Okay.
there's like a scrub. I use both of those, and my skin has never felt better. I love it.
Okay. Well, Abby, thank you so much for joining me today and for all of your great advice. I know other estheticians will be excited to listen to it, and I feel like they'll really gain a lot from this podcast. So, thank you for joining me.
Yay, of course. And any of them are welcome to reach out and message me. I love giving advice. I'll go to lunch sometimes with some, so you just hit me up and I'll take care of you.
Okay. And also, real quick, do you offer any online training for people that may be in another state? I know we're in Knoxville, Tennessee, but do you offer any online training or mentoring to people that are beyond Tennessee?
Yes. So I am working on having like courses made for that. But as far as like mentoring, yes, I definitely think that's something I can get set up, especially like virtual or with like, with video. I'm open minded. So if somebody needs something, message me and we can figure it out.
Okay, and I'll put Abby's links below so that you can reach out to her. And Abby, again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.